welcome to another episode of Living Room Wisdom, where your story is your glory. I am Patrina Wisdom, author, speaker, and wealth mentor, and I have the privilege and honor of interviewing one of the most beautiful women I've seen in person in a long time. Her name is Vanya Francis, and she is the founder of Cherished Life. So Vanya, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you. We connected on Zoom, and we were able to connect, and just our energy and our spirits were just came alive, and I wanted to definitely have her on to be interviewed. So what I'd like for you to do first is I would love to share with the audience who you are.
Okay.
And then we'll talk a little about your business.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, my name is Vanya Francis. I'm the founder of Cherished Life, Yoga and Wellness, which is a boutique yoga and wellness company offering compassionate care and holistic wellness during preconception, pregnancy, postpartum, and beyond. So what that means in a nutshell is I'm also a holistic birth doula. I'm a yoga instructor specializing in prenatal yoga and also a holistic health coach.
Okay, that's beautiful. And how did you end up going down this path? There's always a story, and I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. I want to hear it.
There's always a story. So I would say all of this was inspired, obviously, by my personal journey. I had a really great pregnancy and birth with my daughter, who's now 14. And during my pregnancy, I was practicing prenatal yoga. I have always, pretty much since high school, been into a really holistic lifestyle and embraced that even more when I was pregnant. And because I had such an amazing experience with prenatal yoga and my pregnancy, I was really inspired to share that with other women. And so when my daughter was about 18 months, I decided that I wanted to get my yoga certification, but I was working in corporate America at the time. And in marketing and business development for an entertainment company, but I knew that I wasn't in alignment, and I had been practicing yoga for a number of years myself, and it had been a really integral part of my development and personal growth. So when I went through my yoga teacher training, at the end of that, I was like, I know for sure I want to teach prenatal yoga. And so literally I got my certification in the studio that I got it from. I marched, into the room with the prenatal yoga instructor, and I was like, I think I want to do this. And so that was in 2009, and that started my journey as a birth worker. I taught prenatal yoga for about 8 years before becoming a holistic birth doula. And what I found was that in supporting women through pregnancy in preparation for childbirth, I also got requests, but also decided that it might be nice to be able to support them through that birth journey. And so became a birth doula, holistic birth doula. But I had gotten my holistic health coach certification around the same time as I got my yoga certification. So as I have continued on my journey as an entrepreneur, it slowly evolved to this place where I just want to focus on birth and birth work. Because I was teaching yoga, all types of yoga for everybody. And then because my prenatal yoga classes and the relationships that I developed with those clients grew so organically and were so abundant, I was like, this is where my gift lies.
You found your niche.
Exactly.
And I'm sure your marketing background helps.
Yes, it does.
It's so interesting how we go down one path and then somehow, go hit a road that takes us in another direction that may seem totally off from the path we were on, but it's like you really came and met your destiny, it sounds like, because it takes this very special person to niche to pre and postnatal care, yoga, being a doula. I mean, literally, you're on call as a doula 24 hours a day when you have patients, right?
Yeah, absolutely. My son is relatively young, and I really like to be present for my children. They are my priority. The greatest, I think, role I have in this lifetime is being a mother, which has inspired this journey in my work, and I really try to be good stewards of their souls. So
that's
that's
that.
So I was like, doula, yeah, no, can't do that. And I really like sleep. Like I'm somebody who really does. I need my sleep, but all that's changed. And
that's when you know it's purpose work.
Yes, absolutely, and it's been divine.
Yeah. Well, tell me then. So, what was your actual journey? You said you were doing yoga yourself, practicing before you became certified. What initially led you down that path of yoga?
Oh, that's a great question. I tell the story. So, I'm currently the yoga and meditation professor at Spelman College, but I also am an alumna. So, I graduated from Spelman, and I found yoga when I was at Spelman. I entered, as a very high achieving freshman. I had 2 jobs my freshman year. I was psychology pre-med, and was still taking care of myself physically. I had gone through somewhat of a transformation my senior year in high school, where I just had this desire to feel better in my body. And so, I went to my mom one day and I was like, I just want to feel better. What can I do? And she told me to do all the things that we know to do, right? Just drink more water, eat more fruits and vegetables, try to, reduce the amount of sugar you're eating. And so I went through a transformation my senior year and carried that lifestyle and those habits with me to college. However, about halfway through my freshman year, I started suffering from tension headaches. And I got up one morning and couldn't stand up. I was having a really bad dizzy spell and had to sit back down. And what I know now is, I was burning the candle at both ends. I was staying up late, I was getting up early, I was working 2 jobs, I had a full load, and they called an ambulance. And Grady Hospital here in Atlanta pulled up to my freshman dorm and took me away. They ran some tests because I thought for sure there was something wrong. Yeah. And after doing CAT scans and all of those things, they were like, "You're fine.
You're burnt out.
And we think you just need to have a seat."
Wow.
I was like, what? I was like, and so for me, that was a real wake-up call. I never knew that stress could have this physical manifestation in your body. And I went through that, for about another month. I ended up flying home to Maryland. I wasn't convinced. I didn't believe them. Yeah. The physicians there said the same thing. And so for me, that was an awakening. And I realized at that time, I got to get a handle on my thoughts, really. Because while I had really taken care of my physical health and well-being, I had neglected my mental and emotional well-being. Right. And so, and it took me a little while. Still took a couple years, and then eventually I found yoga my senior year at Spelman.
Or it found you.
Yeah, or it found me, exactly. And for me, I've been a dancer most of my life, and up until that point, and so yoga was like a natural progression for me, a natural next step, just with embodied movement and understanding that and mindfulness, and so that was the beginning, I would say, of my wellness journey, my holistic wellness journey. Yeah.
And how has being exposed and being certified and following that yogic path, because a lot of people, they think yoga is just about the asanas, about the movements, and that it's physical. But in reality, yoga builds you from the inside out.
Indeed.
And so I'd love to hear about that transformation of the yogic path.
Oh my goodness. So most of us enter the yoga or come to yoga through, and so I teach classical yoga. That's what I was trained in, and in that tradition, there's the 8-limb path of yoga, which
I'm certified.
Yes,
as well,
I know.
Right?
I know.
And following you, girl.
Just for everybody else. So most of us enter through that 3rd limb, which is the asanas or the poses, and people think that's all there is to yoga, but really that's only 1/8 of a complete yoga practice. So as I got into this lifestyle, I thought, wow, there's so much more here. And they're guidelines, moral guidelines,
It's a way of being.
Yes, it's a way of being. And so that was transformative for me. And I think I've always been connected in some way to a mindful lifestyle, but really yoga just amplified that and kind of broke me wide open and has really allowed me to move through different challenges with a lot of grace, because for me, it really is a lifestyle.
Yes.
It's not just about the poses. And I tell my students, it doesn't matter if you can't touch your toes. It doesn't matter if you can't bend over backwards.
It's about the conversation you're having with yourself as you can't touch your toes.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, it is really a practice of self-study, of self-awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned challenges, so I, of course, have to dive into, the fact that you were married and the experience with that. So if you want to share your story on that, I'm sure, it would help a lot of women watching.
Absolutely, yeah. So, and we actually were not married, but we were in a committed relationship for 12 years. And towards the end of that relationship, we ended up going separate ways. He ended up having, choosing another situation, and it was deeply traumatic for me in a lot of ways, and for my daughter at the time. My son was very young, and it really probably for me was one of the most traumatic experiences that I've endured.
And why was that though?
Well,
the other relationship that was chosen
was a friend, somebody who I was really close to and trusted, really trusted with my family, trusted with my children. And so
that's deep trauma.
It is.
It's like I can't glaze over that one. Yeah. I can't.
And it was completely unexpected. I was very blindsided by the whole thing. But I can honestly say that situation, it brought me to rock bottom. But I'm grateful for it because I was able to cultivate a level of resilience.
Yes.
And it showed me my own strength.
Yes.
And when you go through something like that, you realize there's not too much I can't handle.
Right.
And you're able to draw on that, for other situations in your life.
And that was really why I wanted to bring that up, because this is where your story is your glory. And so I really want to spotlight, not put all of the energy into the challenge, but the transformation and the glory that came from that challenge. And I honestly believe, without knowing all the details of that relationship, that had that relationship not ended, you would not be the vibrant, beautiful, grounded, liberated woman that you are today.
You're exactly right. I couldn't agree more. And I offer gratitude to that situation, for that experience. Obviously when you're going through it, it's really challenging, it's really tough. You're not sure if you'll ever recover, or what the other side of it looks like. But for me, it was, it was just a level of development myself.
And were you yogi at that point in that relationship?
I absolutely was.
So that probably helped
the
transition.
And challenged it, because it was like, okay, so you practice this.
Accountability, right?
Yeah. So it's like, okay, now what do you really do with this? Like, it's cool when things are good.
Yes.
And then when you're actually presented with these challenges, it's like, how do we really tap into this and use this, right? So
I love it. I love all of that. Spirituality, yoga, my financial business, it's all an accountability system for me. When you're faced with these type of challenges, you a yogi, right? Oh, okay, you a finance expert? Oh, really? You are? Okay, what's this? Right?
Yeah.
But it keeps you in integrity with what you teach and what you live.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
I love it. And as do our children.
Exactly. And my children are my greatest teachers in a lot of ways. Like, even when it was difficult to show up for myself, I was like, what do I want my daughter to learn from this experience?
Right.
What do I want to show her? What are the lessons learned that, I can communicate to her and just demonstrate to her? So,
So tell me then, now, are you dating?
Not yet.
Not yet. How long?
Not right now.
How long ago was that situation?
So it's been 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have admittedly thrown myself into building my business.
Yes.
But excited about opportunities. I was like, it's, the beginning of 2022 as we have this conversation. And so that's one of my goals this year, is to really tend to myself. I've been working on building the business for the past couple of years. And I was like, okay, we've got a solid foundation now.
Yeah.
Now it's time to really and always look at yourself.
And so what will you do differently this time? Like, who is your avatar of your perfect man?
I'm still
go there.
No, I'm still sort of ironing all of that out. But I think definitely somebody who will be supportive, amplify my gifts, and encourage me to be the fullest expression of myself.
I love it. And your IG tag is?
At Cherished Life Wellness, at Vanya Camille. Yes.
We're going to do some matchmaking at the same time, because I know that your king is out there just waiting for you.
I know he is
And
too.
all of these experiences are just preparing you for that, that overabundant love, right?
Yes.
That's going to be beautiful. So what is your future? Next 5 years, what is the vision of your future? Personally, professionally, or otherwise?
Yeah, so Cherished Life is this beautiful community and company that really, I offer what I like to think about as wraparound services. So my vision for that is to really grow that community and have mothers be a part of that community who are looking to get pregnant, who are pregnant, and then have it to be a safe, very nurturing landing space for them once they have their babies. So, and we have a yoga platform, a yoga and wellness community that's online right now. We have, I offer live virtual classes, but in addition to that, there is a library of videos that they can access if they're not able to attend the live virtual classes. My doula services remain busy and active, and so my prayer is that it stays that way. And then also just the holistic health coaching piece and being able to fold that into the community and have groups and events and opportunities for women to come together and support each other. And that's really why I was first drawn to prenatal yoga in the beginning. It's because of the community and the connection.
Oh, okay.
So at the beginning of every class, we take 15 or 20 minutes to check in with each other and find out, how are you doing? And for you to connect with other women and realize that you're not alone in this journey. So, so that would be the professional piece, I think. And then personally, I just want to stretch out. I want to be sure that I'm doing all the things that I need to do to take care of myself, vacations and, really just pouring into myself, because one of the yogic principles that one of my teachers taught me is that you want to drink as you pour, right? So that you're not depleted, and that I can give from the overflow of my well and not from its depth. So I know that first begins with, okay, like, am I practicing yoga? I know I'm teaching a lot of yoga, but am I practicing yoga? Am I taking time for self? I took my first vacation in years by myself. Well, it was with my sister at the end of last year. And I was like, no, we need so much more of this. Like, why have you not done this in years? So,
Oh, I love all of that. And how can we support you in reaching that 5-year goal?
Oh, well, we are, I failed to mention that I also have a wellness product, Cherished Tea, which is herbal organic iced tea for periods, pregnancy, postpartum, and beyond.
Okay.
And that is also doing well, and it's, we're gaining momentum with that. So, just check me out and, send your folks my way, and if there's anybody who you think could benefit from my services.
So for the doula piece, obviously they would need to be in the Georgia, Atlanta area.
Sure.
Because that's where you reside. But for the yoga piece, that can also be done virtually. Is that correct?
Absolutely,
Okay,
all
great.
over.
So then share with our audience where they can find you.
Okay. Right. Thanks, Patricia. So on Instagram, I am Cherished Life Wellness, at Cherished Life Wellness. And the website is mycherishedlife.com.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yay! Well, it was so beautiful having you here, your energy, your spirit. I'm excited to just stay connected and build our friendship.
Absolutely.
Because this is just the beginning. It's not the end. And for all of you out there listening, I hope that you took some nuggets. Mainly what I want you to take from this is that yoga is not about the movements. It's not fitness. I mean, it can be, but in reality, yoga is a lifestyle. It's a way of being, and that it really is a, what do we say, self-actualization, really,
yes,
exercise. So if you absolutely loved this episode, which I know you did, then go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to all of the podcast platforms, Living Room Wisdom, and we'll look forward to seeing you here again next week. Make sure you also jump over to Facebook and join our Badass Bodacious Entrepreneurs group, where you can connect with beautiful women like Vanya and all of the other women that I interview here on this podcast. All right, namaste. I love you, and we'll see you next week.